It's time once again to interview a coach on the Sports Couch Show, brought to you by People's National Bank, serving you with locations throughout Southern Illinois, member FDIC and equal housing lender, and by Mount Vernon Title Company. When you need title work or real estate closings or contract for deed work, Mount Vernon Title Company. During week 4 of the high school football season, Mount Vernon Rams had their first road game. They went on the road to Collinsville, who's technically a non-conference game right now, may change in the future, but taking on the K-Hawks, who had beaten Centralia earlier this year. So the Rams knew they were in for a slugfest there. But guess what? Mount Vernon came out on top 45-21, jumping out to a 13-point lead at halftime, and just kind of broke the will of the K-Hawks, not only with a trick play, but with a big goal line stand on the 2-yard line. And with us to talk about it is head coach Dan Mings. And, Coach, one of the things that you didn't say on the microphone last week during our interview, but we can say it now, is that you told me off mic that we were going to have to play an outstanding game, both offensively and defensively, to have a chance to beat Collinsville. As it turned out, the expectations, you far exceeded them because you did play that nearly perfect game on both sides of the ball, and you come away with a big win.
It was, it was a game that we really needed to win. Yep. Our backs were against the wall, and we had some things go against us in the first third of the season, with some close losses and really losses that were tough to take whenever we felt like we were probably a little bit better than the teams that beat us, and those are always hard to take, but I also said early, we're young and we're going to get better, and we're going to get better every week and make improvements, and we've done that, so we felt like the game plan was good. We knew, again, we were going to be undersized, and pushed around a little bit, and I think that was true. They had 300 yards run the ball on us, but when we needed to come up and make big plays, we did. We started 2 freshmen and 6 sophomores on the defensive side. So our young kids, they're we do have some talent here. It's just it's like fine wine, I guess. It's just got to age and come into its own, and so hopefully we're going to come into our own here a little bit down the stretch.
Well, as so often happens with the Rams offense this year, you score on these big plays, and it's exciting for the fans, it's exciting for the players and everyone, but the problem with that is when you score so quick on these big 60, 70, 80-yard plays is the defense goes right back out there, and you can't keep doing that all night long. So, it was a big turning point in the game was when you got that goal line stand.
It was, and it was they were driving down to I don't know, maybe to take the lead. I don't know what it was, but it was a 1-score game, and if they punch it in right there right before halftime, it's a completely different story. But Mekhi Malone came up with a really big hit on the goal line for us and stopped them on 4th down, and it was a turnover, and then we got a little breathing room, and then we had to punt. And they roughed our punter, gave us a couple more downs to play with, and we had just put in our double pass Thursday in about 5 minutes. We said, guys, we'll probably never use this, but it's our Thursday play. If we get a chance, we'll do it. You
were kind of doing it for fun, weren't you?
We were, and that's what we do on Thursdays. We'll pick a play and we'll put it in, and let the kids have fun with it. And it was one of those things that we had a couple timeouts there, so we got to burn a timeout, reset it back up, say, guys, remember, this is what we did yesterday. And we were expecting them to be in prevent. We weren't expecting it to work necessarily, but they wanted to come up and press us. And when they do that, we send a kid out there to be a personal protector for our thrower. And, Zay caught the first pass and threw the second pass, and they sucked up on him because we had hit a couple screen passes like that. Right. And they sucked up on him and let David get behind him, and it was over, and it was a backbreaker for him, Then we go up by 13 at half and into a 90-minute weather delay, and so they've got an hour and a half to think about the things the turn of events that had just happened, and our kids have an hour and a half to think about how excited they are and how we can get it done this time and not lose a halftime lead. We've had a halftime lead every game this season up to this point, and we've hung on to 2 of them and we lost 2 of them, but they weren't going to let that one go.
Yeah, that was a backbreaker for them. But I think actually the weather delay was probably beneficial to you because it gave that defense a chance to rest, too, because they were getting gassed in that first half, despite the fact that you were up by 13.
Yeah, and it was hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't get cool until that storm came in, and we were gassed. We were tired, and dragging and being out on the field all those, those long minutes, that we were out there. So there's no doubt it gave our defense a little shot in the arm that they needed.
And again, Collinsville's a good team. They're going to beat a lot of teams this year. They're 2-2, just like the Rams are. They've got a win over Centralia this year, so that's a very good football team that you beat over there at Collinsville. And now you're 2-2, and you go on the road. You're going out to Akron, Ohio, to take on one of the top teams in the state of Ohio. This is a tall order, but it's also a great opportunity for your kids, your football program, in so many different ways.
It is, and there's a lot of different ways we can look at this. I mean, it's football is what we do, but life is sort of what we teach, and we try to treat our kids very well and to give them experiences and to treat them a little differently than maybe they're used to. And when this whole scheduling fiasco came up and we could not find anybody to play, this was either take a no game, or do something for our kids. And, right now we're going to leave Thursday. We're going to drive to a school over by Indianapolis, and we're going to practice. Then we're going to drive into Akron, and we're going to have a team meal, and then we're going to have our team meetings. And it's showing them a little bit what it's like to play in college, and then Friday morning, we're going to get up. We're going to go to the Hall of Fame. We're going to get to see the Hall of Fame and have their presentation that they're going to give us. And then we're going to also have a meal there. They've got a banquet hall that we're going to have a meal there at the Hall of Fame.
Great.
So we're going to make a morning of that. And then we're going to leave there and get up to Hoban at about 5 o'clock and go through our pregame routine and go play. Everybody, they're the third-ranked team in Ohio. They're the 83rd ranked team in the United States, because they lost week 1 to the top-ranked team in Maryland. So they're not strangers to playing, big games in front of big crowds or anything like that. And I think that it's important that our kids get to see it, because they're high school kids, just the same as we are. Genetically, they may be a little bit different. The area that they can recruit from, they've got kids all over the eastern seaboard, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio. So it's not apples to apples,
right? But
in a sense, it is. And we've got kids I think can play at that level. We do have kids that can play at that level, but to have the experience and the life experience that these kids are going to remember, forever. That you remember that time that the Rams went out to Ohio and played one of the top teams in the country, and it was a great experience. They're never going to forget that, and thank Mount Vernon for letting us do it. And the community for supporting us in our fundraisers that we had to have, to be able to afford the trips, and it's an opportunity for us. It's an opportunity for several of our kids to showcase maybe on a higher level. But if we ever want to get to where we want to get to, I think they need to see what that means.
What that level is.
Yeah, just what that level is.
Right.
And some of the kids that we're going to play Friday, they're going to be playing on Sundays. There's a good chance that some of those kids that we'll see playing on Sundays down the road. So we're going to take it for what it is, and we're going to go out there and we're playing against scheme. They are who they are, but we're playing against scheme. They run a 4-2 defense. They may move that up to a 5-3 defense. On offense, you can only line up so many different ways. Well, we have to learn how to line up versus whoever we play. So we're not going to be shocked down the road when somebody gives us an exotic formation or they give us something that we're not used to seeing, because we're going to be used to seeing those things. So we're going to take a lot more positives out of this than we are negatives.
Well, again, as far as I know, in the history of Mount Vernon Ram football, I don't think there's ever been a team that's had an opportunity to go out to Ohio and visit the NFL Hall of Fame and play a football game while they're there. And that is just such a cool opportunity. And, win or lose, this is going to be life-changing moments for everyone involved.
It is, but this is our second trip to Ohio.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Ohio, that's true, but not to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but not to the Hall of Fame.
Right. I do remember the other one.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So we've been out to Ohio and played before, and Withrow Academy out there in Cincinnati, which is a little bit closer trip.
Yep.
It's only a 5.5 hour trip opposed to an 8 hour trip.
Right.
But but this is what I tell people, and they say, Coach Mings, why do you do that? Why do you play these people? Why not play those people? I mean, it's an opportunity, and at the end of my days, I want to be able to say, you know what, I did that too.
Yep.
And we never shied down from playing the teams from Chicago or the Metro East or the great Metamora and Geneseo teams. It's a football game, it's 48 minutes long, but they're memories that, those kids that went with us to Cincinnati, they still talk to me about that and remember that. And hopefully that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to promote memories and great high school memories and great memories of Mount Vernon High School and what they were allowed to do here. And one day, hopefully get to the point where we can be, competitive on a really high level.
Any injuries to be concerned about?
Charlie, our tight end, Charlie Shoup, he's got a thumb, so he's got to get an MRI tomorrow. But they said on the X-ray it didn't look like a break, but you want to get an MRI and make sure. So he's banged up there a little bit. Everybody else is relatively healthy. Just your football bumps and bruises and bangs and injuries and stuff like that. But everybody we're as healthy as we've been. So we're going to go out there with a full complement.
All right, Coach. Well, again, congratulations on the win against Collinsville, and best of luck out in Ohio, and enjoy yourself out there.
I appreciate it, Randy. Thank you.